Oh, I'm hearing my own fucking sound through my iPad. Oh, first. Oh, and and myself fucking speaking on Twitch. I was hearing myself wonder, why am I hearing myself? Let me find a fucking poignant fucking Oh, yeah. I said it was an inauspicious day, and, well, you don't know why. This is why. Charlie Kirk, leader of Turning Points USA, TPUSA, is now confirmed dead. Trump, I guess, got to announce it, and, well, they seemed rather close. So, I guess, who of all people but him? The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of all America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife Erica and family. Charlie, we love you. Oh, the White House tweeted that out verbatim. Here's the thing, I have not watched, I was not a stringent follower of Charlie Kirk. If anything, maybe like half a decade, no, about like 7 years ago, closer to a decade than not. I was definitely one of the people making fun of him for being too milquetoast of a fucking conservative. Yep, still another F-bomb within 10 minutes. I don't even know if that works. People were like making fun of him who are not necessarily even right of center, just like fucking trolls on the internet. It's maybe an extent, maybe they had a point that he was too milquetoast, but milquetoast conservative Republican, I guess you could say. What was his last fucking tweet? But so I remember back in like the run up to 2018 midterms, people were there was the Griper war on yeah, it was the Griper war on the on Turning Points USA, on people like Dan Crenshaw and Ben Shapiro and Charlie Kirk most of all, and people trying to get ahead of him and get like zingers on him. Oh, yeah, so here's this was probably like his last like tweet. Don't know if it, you know, was fully him. Whatever, but if we want to change things, it's 100% necessary to politicize the senseless murder of Irina Zarutska, because it was politics that allowed her savage monster with 14 priors to be free on the streets to kill her. Yeah, and the only other thing on his profile right now is I guess his fucking live show that was happening today. Did that include anyway? Oh, yeah. He was doing live debates with people. Oh god, I cut on a fucking ad. Yeah, I remember back in like 2018, people were making faces of like how big his head is to like the zone of his face, from his eyes to his mouth. I'm looking through it. This was not the shirt he's in, so this wasn't a live broadcast from today, I don't think. Kirk, I swear that means church in like Norwegian or something. So, I wasn't a strong follower of Charlie Kirk, but I knew he was a feature, and pretty sure, as I understand it, there was a recent FEC ruling right before the general election that allowed for like third-party organizations to campaign on behalf of political candidates. And so one of the things that was Trump had TPUSA going out campaigning for him, if I'm understanding the story correctly. It was sort of a weird strategy of doing more with less. Gotta get some fucking... I haven't eaten dinner tonight. I'm probably gonna go out and like console myself with some fucking fast food, even though I decided I was gonna start cutting weight. See if I can drive down my body fat percentage. So I just stuffed a good bar or whatever it is. It's weird, like it looks like it's like solid peanut butter, but it's just but it's mixed with like tons of other stuff, including like applesauce or something. But you couldn't tell. It's mildly sweet. But back to Charlie Kirk, like, he's definitely been coming around. He's definitely, I'd say, be moving further to the right. But as I understand, he never left his, like, going to college, going to colleges and constantly debating people. Always, like, open up for debate. I don't know how controlled it was behind the scenes. But he definitely did one of those, he did those Jubilee videos where they had, like, 20, like, liberals try and talk to him. Try and argue with him. So, people were expounding on this today is that he was always out there willing to debate, willing to talk, and well, somebody didn't want to talk, and now he's gone. And I saw that footage. Like, I first was like scrolling through Instagram at work. Yeah, call me fucking lazy, whatever. And saw the first video from a distance from OSINT Defender. You couldn't exactly make out, but the tagline was, Charlie Kirk has been shot. And then of all people, I saw from fucking Ubersoy, the up-close video, where you saw the bullet go through his, you didn't even see the bullet. You can't see the bullet, it doesn't go fast, but you saw him limp and blood start pouring out of his fucking neck. One last F-bomb before the 10-minute mark. Like, at that point, my brain was logically like, he's dead. But my heart wanted to believe that he could make it. Again, I'm no, like, serious follower of him, but that was heinous, what I saw. Kinda wish I hadn't seen it. So I was molding in my cubicle as, like, work was going out throughout the day, and, you know, I got my shit-lib elderly Lutheran co-worker, female co-worker, who I had to work under. I have to work with today, and we were squabbling about a pressurization system. You know, To one other girl who's definitely a shit lib. I see stuff, you know, she constantly reposts Democrat-based politics on her Instagram profile. Let me just check. She's retweeted anything. God damn it, what was her account even? No stories as of yet, so I guess she hasn't hit it. So I'm sitting there mauling because, like, again, I keep on saying it, I'm not an avid follower of Charlie Kirk. But I do recognize how important he was, even though I didn't have my ear to the ground on anything he touched. It's here. It's from Phoenix, Arizona, so near Razor Fist territory. Just looking through his feed. Link below to subscribe. TP Action, TP USA. I seriously not follow them. What's the left-wing equivalent? Joined May 2021. He's like 31 now, so he joined. Wow, hold up. So it was it's 14 years from now, so he joined when he was 18 minus 4. No, 31 minus 14. It's 21 minus 4, 17. So almost an adult. And of course, the other thing to note is that he is married with 2 kids already. 2 daughters, apparently. One of them's younger enough that you couldn't necessarily tell. So, the younger one, who is more infantile, toddler looking, probably is going to have very few memories of her. Memories of him. And the older daughter probably has got like working memories. It's probably going to be, yeah. Have enough to feel sad at this point. The young one probably may not fully understand. And of course, like, here I am at 29, just gonna say it out loud. No kids. No marriage prospects right now. Hopefully I can change that. But like in this moment, like, him or me, fine, take me. I don't got anybody dependent on me. Like, my family would be sad, but the sadness that his children and his wife would feel, I think, is worse. Something a little bit closer than I think, like, my distant sister, my mom and dad would feel sad, but that's like breaking up something more beautiful where I haven't developed that yet. So he did, I didn't. Take me instead, in all honesty. Just molding as in a cubicle as an office drone as all the information started pouring in. Let's see, where was the other? I tweeted this out. Give myself a fucking quote tweet live now. Now discussing the inauspicious events of the day. I don't know, I was like trying to think, could I say something better, like, come here and like, take comfort in each other's words for anyone who will show up. I put it out with the fucking with my thumbnail for Armored Core 4 or 6. I'm not even thinking I'm going to get into that right now. I'm not even sure I'm going to play a game today. I tweeted this from an acquaintance, I would call it. I've known him through 3 different accounts at this point. Kirk was a de-radicalizing figure criticized from far right, not the far right, but from the direction of far right, theme semantics, for keeping young people from the politics of hate. While so many political fandoms are cults of dysfunction and social isolation, you really got the impression Kirk wanted you to find a better life with God and family. He was a practicing Christian. Yeah, name a far-right figure who criticized him. Like, do you not forget the fucking Griper Wars from, like, 2019 or 2018? They were going out, like, trying to stump him up, usually criticizing him on, like, you know, pro-Israel grounds. I forget, like, mainly it's the pro-Israel thing they would skewer him for, because that's, you know, standard, you know, Republican right-of-center politics. Let's see, is he put out? All right. I mean, what is his latest tweets about Israel? So he has one tweet complaining about the bringing of Gazan refugees into Brussels. You ending 30-year conflict on top of the Israel-Iran deal, not the Israel-Gaza deal. Informed by earlier DH guidance that linking Israel and BDS with access to 1.9 billion state disaster funds has been removed. The highlighted portion is gone. The updated guidelines will bar states from running discriminatory anti-male, anti-white DI programs, those that benefit illegal. So even he's recognizing that the some of the genuflecting that we're doing towards Israel these days is going a bit too far. This is a segment. No, Israel's not starving Gazans. Watch. Wanted to push back you on there. There's no denying that Israel has become a massive topic in U.S. politics, and particularly among Gen Z. At our recent Student Action Summit, I hosted a focus group with our TPUSA students to get a sense of what they think about the topic. As you'll see, they don't hate Israel Jewish people, but they're skeptical about the state of America's current relationship with the country, and they want to be confident America's leaders are putting their own country first. I've been working hard to help conservative politicians, donors, and friends of Israel better understand this dynamic. Now in a conversation that is sure to frustrate both sides of the discussion, they can hear Gen Z conservatives in our word. Alright, so I'm not going to turn through that, but younger Republicans definitely are not, like, all up and up with Israel as much as have as favorable disposition towards Israel as like older generations, boomers, do. So I guess he's wading into the topic here, so I don't even know. All right.
Do you believe Israel is sacred while simultaneously saying we should stop involving?
Maybe Mossad was a part of things that we don't know about. Reminds me of the CIA.
I don't think that is how an ally treats an ally.
I'm told that if I criticize AIPAC, I'm anti-Semitic.
If you're going to say I hate Jews over and over and over again, I'm going to be convicted of the crime. You might as well do the crime.
Oh, okay, buddy.
Or would you never be okay with the U.S. defending Israel's right to exist and, essentially saving the country?
I think they absolutely, first and foremost, they have a right to exist. They have a right to defend themselves.
All right, I'm going to be the asshole here. No country has the right to exist. You exist because you have enough internal cohesion to hold all your parts together and enough strength to keep others from outside from making it so that you don't exist. They probably did get, like, some more amenable people instead of, like, the anti-Zionist rights, the Fuentards.
Conversation about it. Word association game. One issue you wish we were focused on instead of Israel, what would it be?
Border housing. Yeah, I was discussing this with a friend I met on a Telegram chat, and he was able to track me because I kept on posting Instagram links. And if you're not familiar, you post an Instagram link, it usually has some extra code at the end of it that can track to your individual Instagram account and not just put whatever you're sharing. We found out for that, but it's fine. So I posted, said something that's just like, oh, we need to defend Israel, yada yada, Gen Z, of whatever political persuasion. Motherfucker, I can't own a house. I don't care about you. In fact, it irritates me that we're sending money to you. So, alright, so I guess he was breaking the iceberg with this one. Someone says mass deportations are impossible. Show them this. Iran has deported 1.1 million illegal migrants this year alone, including 500,000 in the past month, while fighting a war against Israel. It's a bit of a different story. Those people who did it were Afghans who were mostly concentrated on the border in camps. So it was easier to find them instead of the searching we have to do here in the US. So today I was moderating between Dave Smith and Josh Hammer on Israel. Okay, so Dave Smith, harsh, strident critic of Israel from I don't know, a left-leaning libertarian position. And again, the fact that he's hosting this debate instead of yeah, he can be partisan as hell, but he still gets into the weeds here by being, doing the debate me bro tactic and making a show of it. That is his brand. So you went after this guy, the moderate. As I understand it, the comparison I want to make here is to Austria-Hungary in World War I, where apparently Archduke Franz Ferdinand, likely to succeed Emperor Joseph or whatever it was, he was next in line. He was a moderate when it came to dealing with the Slavs. In some way. He could have been harsh in many ways, but he was apparently he had a more lenient position on the what to deal with Serbs and other South Slavs in the Austro-Hungarian Empire. And where was I going with this? So when Gavrilo Princip killed him, he killed the moderate of all people. So there was no restraining voice to say, no, don't fucking straight up invade Serbia over this. Then again, if he killed anybody else from the royal family, it probably would have had the same effect. Dave Smith say anything yet? Praying for Charlie Kirk. You religious, man? Oh god, race posting. Not gonna get into that right now. Like many of you, I'm horrified and profoundly disturbed by what happened tonight. Even more than that, I'm just so sad. I didn't know Charlie very well, but he was always such an incredibly nice person to me, and he had no reason to be. Thinking about that young family losing their sweet father and husband just crushes my soul. Same here. Yeah, my voice cracked. Rocking myself, trying to get my head back on a swivel. I'll give that a retweet. Or repost or rezeet, whatever it is now. Again, I'm getting emotional on this guy who I definitely, I follow him on Twitter, but that's only just reflexively to keep in the sphere of things, of the news out there. Because he was a force, so better to pay attention to what he says at all. Check my notifications, nothing big coming through. Let's see what the Commander-in-Chief has to say.
grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a
Indeed.
patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of
He sounds emotional.
deep faith, and we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans
he's making
like
a partisan
Charlie
jab
to
here, but
Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. From the attack on my life...
Is that him getting ready for, I don't know, I'm pausing it now, I haven't, like, throughout the majority of this video, but it sounds like, you know, using this as an excuse to go after, like, all those John Brown gun clubs and other Antifa organizations, I guess with more gusto than they have in the past.
In Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others.
Oh, he's bringing that up from his first term, alright.
Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died. The values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory, may God watch over his family, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you. To my great...
See, I did list off, like, yeah, like, 2 people taking shots at me, 1 really close, 1 people nearly, like, shot up Steve Scalise. I don't even know what the fuck does he even look like. There's that incident also, Rand Paul got hospitalized when his neighbor, who's, I don't know, was a Bernie bro, if I remember correctly. I'll take that back. Somewhere left of center, probably would have agreed with most of what Bernie Sanders said, and, like, broke a rib. And that kind of got, like, quashed. Scalise. Oh. Why do I feel like he was a fucking Marine? Louisiana's 1st district. Political is disgusting and not who we are in America. We just bring those responsible to justice swiftly. So. Was that just him right there before any of this happened? I'll say this, like, I have definitely heard far more, I have seen far more dehumanizing language from the right towards, I don't want to say like your average Democrat. They'll probably say average Democrat, but they mean like, you know, the Antifa types. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they'll think like Chuck Schumer. Like, who the fuck is political opposition at this point? Speaking about Colorado, this is 5 hours ago. I mean, these online trolls. Okay, so here he is talking about Charlie Kirk, but he definitely brought a bunch of other stuff throughout the day. But then again, it is his, you know, it's an official account, so God knows that they probably has a team running some stuff on auto at this point. So I won't hold it against him. Even Biden probably came at it. There's no place in our country for this kind of violence. It must end now. Jill and I are praying for Charlie Kirk's family and loved ones. I'm also going to be upfront and cynical. This ain't going to stop now. Probably only going to get worse. Next, like, half a century is probably going to be a trial and tribulation for this entire country until we can figure out what we are. I was doing a Labor Day tweet below that. Obama put something out. You don't know yet what motivated the person who shot and killed Charlie Kirk, but this kind of despicable violence has no place in our democracy. Michelle and I will be praying for Charlie's family tonight, especially his wife Erica and their 2 young children. Right, so, all saying the same things. As repetitive as it can be, it's better than not. But going back to it, yeah, like, the attacks on Republicans, like, who is like a significant left-wing candidate who, or figure who suffered an assassination attack, succeeded or unsucceeded, in like the past like decade and a half? Was there ever a serious attempt on Joe Biden's life or any of his cabinet members? Was Nancy Pelosi, Hakeem Jeffries, any of them after it? Why do I feel like there was something AOC was? Have there been any attempts on OC's life in the past decade? No, there have been no documented physical attempts on the life of U.S. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the past decade. However, she has faced credible death threats, including a high-profile public call for assassination, and was in significant personal danger during January 6, 2021. Public assassination threat by Garrett Miller. Garrett Miller, a 34-year-old Texan man who participated in the January 6 Capitol riot, was charged by the FBI for making interstate threats to injure a federal official on January 6, 2021, shortly after the riot began. Miller tweeted, "Assassinate AOC." Miller faced 5 federal charges, including violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. Prosecutors described the tweet as a direct threat, and he was arrested in January 21. This incident highlights Capitol riots. Is Garrett Miller out? Was he pardoned on those day one pardons from Trump? He was not sentenced to 38 months, about 3 years and 2 months in federal prison on February 22nd, 2023 for his role in the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot, including assaulting a police officer, making an interstate threat to injure Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and other charges related to interfering with law enforcement. He pleaded guilty in December, but on January 22, President Trump issued a mass pardon and commutation for January 6 related convictions, including Miller's, commuting his sentence to time served and ordering his immediate release from prison. This action dismissed the charges and freed him, along with other January 6 defendants, except for a small number whose sentences were commuted, but convictions upheld due to violent acts. Okay, so that was the closest thing I can think of. On a broader scale. In the since Trump came down that escalator. Wow. You think of notable left-wing figures you invent otherwise who were assassinated or attempted to be assassinated. It might take a while to think about this once. There have been no success. Wow. Okay, Grok. Of notable left-wing figures in U.S. government or prominent activist roles, e.g. progressive politicians, Democratic leaders, and civil rights activists. However, several high-profile assassination attempts and plots have been targeted. Such individuals often killed to right-wing extremism, stochastic terrorism, rhetoric inciting violence without direct coordination, or anti-democratic, anti-progressive motives. The incidents reflect a broad rise in political violence since 2015, with threats against democratic lawmakers increasing. Shooting at congressional baseball practice, target Democratic leader staff. James Hodgkin, a left-wing activist, disillusioned with Republican policies, opened fire on Republican lawmakers practicing for a charity baseball game and What? Target Democratic leaders and staff with a person, but you're saying they're disillusioned with Republican policies, and shot Steve Scalise. So, not what I was looking for. Kidnapping and assassination plot against Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. The FBI foiled the plot arrest. Yeah, but they also were... A bunch of people got off because the FBI had informants kind of basically manufacturing that entire thing. Shooting attempt on Louisville mayor candidate Craig Dean Greenberg. Quintez Brown, a left-wing activist involved in Black Lives Matter and social justice cause, fired shots at Greenberg's campaign headquarters in Kentucky. A bullet grazed Greenberg's sweater, but caused no injuries. Brown, who had mental issues, was charged with attempted murder. So he's a left-wing activist and shot at a Democratic mayoral candidate. Along with progressive activism, the target was a moderate Democrat, making an intra-left incident rather than a right-wing violence. Hamas attack on hammer attack on Paul Pelosi, husband of House Speaker. A far-right conspiracy theorist influenced by QAnon and anti-democratic rhetoric broke into the Pelosi San Francisco home and brutally attacked Paul Pelosi with a hammer, fracturing his skull. DePape sought Nancy Pelosi, a prominent progressive leader and Trump critic, to interrogate her on live TV about the truth behind the election fraud claims. Paul Pelosi underwent surgery and recovered. DePape was convicted of attempted kidnapping and assault, 30-year sentence. Okay, so that's like the best one that's happened so far. Shootings target Democratic lawmakers in New Mexico. A failed Democratic candidate for the state legislature, initially left-leaning but motivated by election denialism, allegedly hired gunmen to fire at the homes of 4 Democratic officials in Albuquerque, including Rep. Wow, I had never heard of this story. No one was injured, but the attacks caused widespread fear. Pena, who switched to far-right sympathies post-loss, was charged with multiple counts of shooting. Okay, this guy sounds like a skip zone. Arson attempt at Pennsylvania Governor John Shapiro mansion. Bomber was arrested, motivated by hatred of Shapiro's pro-Israel stance. I guess you could say that's coming from a left-wing stance. Well, no, he's not even targeting like a left-wing. Oh, he's targeting a left-wing guy, but for a right-wing reason, I guess you could say. No successful assassinations, rising threats, activist targets, doxing swats. Oh yeah, there was those swattings that happened with a bunch of people who were reporting on all the USAID stuff, and a bunch of people were getting swatted. The people who were reporting, like right-wing, you know, not grifters, but reporters, posters on the internet were getting doxed and swatted. I remember seeing a video of like from one guy's Ring camera of cops showing up, like, you know, full tack gear, body vest, and assault rifles. They're up on the porch and they're looking in because this place got like this one guy who was getting swatted. He had like plenty of open windows throughout his living room. So one guy's like, the cop shows up and is looking in there like, hey, this doesn't look like there's been like a mass shooting or something inside this house. And he like came up and then peacefully came out and then surrendered to them. So yeah, so just going off grok here, closest thing we got was an attack on Paul Pelosi and this guy in New Mexico. But nobody super as big as, nobody like Charlie Kirk. I want to talk about like right-wing terrorism being like that prominent, but it's like, it's just not. It's been going one way. So I guess Trump has a point, as much as, you know, political opposition would like not to point that out. I'm thinking I'll play some Doom instead. I'm gonna go out and probably get something to eat. I'll probably go to Shake Shack. I also need to get a fucking plunger. I'm gonna go do something on my phone. A friend of mine DMing them off my phone like a savage instead of off the computer, so I'm looking down. I was tempted to bring up, she's telling her like some friends are like, not necessarily being like making light of it, but definitely being irreverent about it. I was tempted to bring it up at work, but I decided it better to mold in my cubicle in silence. I don't think my coworkers would be as irreverent as that. I hear that? Some other one of my friends. It's only gonna get worse. Yeah, it's fucking meme. Alright, let me see if I can fucking... Let me go to my Instagram account. No, off here. You don't need to see everything. Where is it? No. Through the cosplay ho shit, you lonely, stupid fucking incel. Alright. Post dumb link. The fuck? The libs of Reddit. Wait, there was like, there's sound? Why is this muted? Playing the After Dark song. I don't know why it's not coming through on here. So this is what my friend just sent me. So, September 25 when everything changed. I don't know if everything's gonna change. Oh no, wait. This is clickbait politics posting with libs clickbait with the libs of Reddit. Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, win the strength of His power. 11. Put on the complete armor of God so that you may be able to resist the devil's tactics. Truly, our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the principalities, against the powers, against the world rulers of this darkness, and against the evil spiritual forces of the supernatural realms. Is that for the New Testament or Old Testament? This reminds me, I got a coin I found in a Nex while I was in Sasebo. I've seen it before. It was a Roman centurion, or Roman legionnaire, in full like high imperial armor with the Lorica segmentata, sharp cornered scutum, and his gladius, with the lightning bolts of Zeus on the scutum, on the shield, but it had the quotes that put on the complete armor of God, so that you may be able to resist the devil tactics on there. Maybe that's not it. Alright, armor of God. This is close enough. I can, Helmet of Salvation. Nah, it's something different. Yeah, so obvious pagan civil. Oh yeah, it was it. Ephesians. Put on the whole armor of God. Breastplate of righteousness, sword of the Spirit, loins girt with truth, shield of faith. But with like, this guy definitely would have been a fucking like a pagan. Going by his armor. Yeah, so when everything changed, it's gonna just change for the worse. It's not gonna change for the better. Oh god, I just realized how, like, yeah, this is the up-close photo. You can't fully see it, but this is how bad it went for him. And this is after that Irina Irkutska girl, not Irkutska, whatever the fuck it was, whatever her name was stabbed. This is her, like, consoling herself after she just got assaulted, because I don't think she fully comprehended what the hell happened to her. Friend just sent this to me on Twitter. Charlie Kirk challenged me to debate when I was 17, and this is how I responded. Thoughts and prayers for the bullet. Oh, yeah. I wanted to say this point earlier, but I don't see as much dehumanizing language from the left on my timeline. I definitely say I would see some stuff from the right at this point, so I don't know which is louder. Because I kind of like, you know, I have my biases. I try and follow other sides, but then it doesn't promote, the algorithm doesn't promote it in my feed because I'm not like liking or replying to it, because I don't comment on it because I've learned to reserve myself on social media. I'm just a casual doom scroller and serial liker. I'll have someone to reach out, best Charlie. You accept the request and when I make PP, and I don't have to make poo poo, but when I poo poo I must PP. Alright, so this guy's being irreverent to him. Kalwala, who volunteered for Elizabeth Warren's presidential campaign in 2020 and proud member of Democratic Socialists of America, posts saying thoughts and prayers for the bullet. This is a monk. DSA should be listed as a terrorist organization. No. You can't just, your response here. You can't just declare, you can't just declare, domestic organizations terrorists. Because that shit happens, and you just can just declare anathema on certain groups like that domestically. That's going to be like flipped around on Republicans in the immediate other direction. That is assuming you don't think maybe you want to go for that, but I think the courts will definitely, like, you know, slap that down. Like, no, you can't just declare some, like, organization. Like, if the Democratic Socialists of America, they're probably like a legal entity recognized by the state as a political party. If they're not, you know, in some way. If it's like an organization that operates completely without, you know, government-sanctioned, like tax-free status, then they're probably, then you can't, like, just, like, declare them anathema. Like that. Slapping my fist into my fucking hand. Oh, there was something else. Who, just look through my fucking... As, Iglesias, what's his face? Matthew Iglesias spoke out about this, but he, definitely, So, putting a little more succinctly what I did about the whole Franz Joseph thing here. Serious shit will be kicked off by this, especially if Kirk dies. He's very tight with Trump and other GOP elites. Again, yeah, at least in the beginning of that video from Trump, that sounded like he was a bit on the emotional side right there before he got into his stride with his speech. What incredibly retarded choice of target. Guy makes zero decisions, is largely washed up, and is awash in connections and goodwill. Also didn't do anything beyond talking. His book, well, what can be expected of a shooter? Killing charismatic moderates on the other side makes perfect sense for a radical force of decision. Yeah, oh, here's I think this was what I was probably looking for. So, our congressional hearings now, every billionaire funding far left-wing extremism, Soros, Bill Gates, Reid Hoffman, massive RICO investigations now, every dollar accounted for, every pass-through groups, financial records, public, AGM, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Blake Masters, this guy who's been like trying to run in some position in Arizona. I think he nearly had got the Senate. This, 1,000 times this, left-wing violence is out of control, and it's not random. Either we destroy the NGO donor patronage network that enables and foments it, or it will destroy us. This may not be the incident that sparks it, but they are chomping at the bit for an act of violence that will serve as a pretext for shutting down all opposition politics. Say, fuck off, fat boy, you caused this according to your own logic of stochastic terrorism, and now you will pay. I'm not gonna like that, I'm not gonna like that, I'm not gonna like that. What terrifies me is if ISIS were to detonate a nuclear device and kill 50 million Americans, imagine the backlash against peaceful Muslims. So yeah, same energy there, but Iglesias adopts the posture of a moderate, but is always there to excuse the behavior leftist terrorists, I guess I meant to say. One nice thing, he will never win. Either he loses and he loses, or he wins and gets treated like the Jacobins and the Bolsheviks treated their predecessors. So, Karen Tumulthi, Reed, Tucker Carlson, if you don't like him, what else is accomplished by terrorizing his family? Wouldn't something else say organizing a boycott of his advertisers be more effective means of protest? I think the idea behind terrorizing his family, like it or not, as a strategy is to make them feel some fear that the victims of MAGA-inspired violence feel thanks to the nonstop racial incitement coming from Tucker, Trump, etc. I agree that this is probably not tactically sound, but if your instinct is to empathize with the fear of the Carlson family rather than the fear of his victims, then you should take a moment to reflect on why that is. Your instinct is to empathize with the fear of the Carlson family rather than the fear of his victims. Tucker Carlson doesn't have any victims. He has not victimized anybody. With you, words can't hurt you. So, yeah, I like that. The guy who shot Charlie Kirk most certainly thinks Iglesias and his ilk are fascist, too. Yeah, probably. Going on an hour here. I don't think I'm actually going to play a video game. I thought I was going to get to Armored Core. But I just needed to mull out loud to my zero audience, but I didn't even change my fucking tags on fucking Twitch. And I should probably go out and eat something. I have these. No, I'm gonna go out and console myself. I'm gonna go get Shake Shack. I'm gonna go out and sit in Shake Shack, have a fucking shake, fries, and a burger. I'm supposed to be cutting, but my stew that is now cooking for the next 6 hours will be ready. And then I'll have no excuse to go out and eat. Nope, you don't need to see my fucking timeline. Minnesota State Senator Aaron McHugh shares post trashing and demonizing Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk spent his life's work and all his energy and time targeting outgroups while arguing for a world in which gun massacres would be easy to enact, plentiful, and inevitable, and he became famous and wealthy doing it. We're not supposed to mention that because it's not polite. You can condemn murder and political violence without whitewashing Charlie Kirk's same history of hate, race, alright, whatever. State Senator Erin Mayaquade shares post-trashing and demonizing Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I doubt she'll pay reference for it. Oh my god. Look at that. That is young Charlie Kirk. And yeah, man, is his forehead bigger than his face, but I mean, he's like fucking smart as hell. Smarter than me. Flat oil prices reflect weak U.S. demand, economic slowdown. God, I just realized if I middle click on something, it opens up in another tab. Oh. To my fellow Americans, he was a consul of Rome. Not exactly a one-to-one scenario. Charlie Kirk was not Trump's enemy, he was his ally. He was definitely... No. He wasn't a politician, he was an orator. He was a political figure without being a politician. It's not like you can blame... Oh, well, I guess you could blame him for the things that he advocates getting into the ears of people who can actually make decisions. I don't know. Is else that happened? Oh yeah, there was the. It's just been a bad week. It was the Ernia Zarutska or whatever her name was. I should probably like commit that to fucking memory. Getting killed, and then it was more like earlier this week. You started with the video of full uncut video getting spread across the internet of her getting stabbed, which was still censored, but then seeing how she's like that picture of her curled up in a ball, terrified, looking up at the guy who just stabbed her, and then watching like as she had 12 seconds to live before she bled out and slumping onto the floor of that stupid light rail. I was like asking this question like, goddamn, I wish I was there, I wish I was there, I wish I was there, I wish I could have like fucking gunned that guy down in the fucking actor beforehand. Fuck it, send me to jail. Let me go back in time, get on the train, I'll just go up and fucking execute him right there before she even gets on the train. Put me in jail, I don't care. I'm gonna take a day from posting at least for today. Yeah, take a rest. He was 31. He definitely looks better in the photo here. His proportions are off. I feel that's like because he's fattened up in the face and somewhat. That is, he's got a fucking brain in there, and we lost it. Oh yeah, this is them trying to rush him to a fucking hospital ASAP. People. There's a cop trying to tell him to fuck off. I want to say that guy looks Vietnamese for some fucking reason. Did Clash reports say anything about this? So there's Irnia. More video of that coming out, which is far more traumatizing or aggravating. There was Israel bombed the Hamas negotiators in fucking Qatar. A lot of people are saying that this was coordinated with Trump and the Trump admin. There are reports now that Trump had a very angry fucking call with Netanyahu, and they're just like at this point, you gotta like cut them loose. No more offensive or defensive weapons exported. Declare them anathema. Too far gone. We talk Governor Spencer Cox. Whoever did this will find you, will try you, and you will be held. We will hold you accountable. Hey, that we're still a death penalty state in the Utah. We still have the death penalty in the state of Utah. Yeah, well, let's see who's gonna put him to the fucking needle or firing squad first. You or Trump, Governor. So yeah, he is covering this stuff. We have a person of interest in custody. Our investigation is ongoing. Oh my God. Israeli Minister Ben Gvir, thank you, Charlie, for your support of Israel and for your struggle for a better world. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. All right, Kash Patel said something. The subject of the horrific shooting today that took the life of Charlie Kirk is now in custody. Thank you to the local and state authorities in Utah for your partnership with the FBI. We'll provide updates when able. I will say this, like on second reading of this, is that he has to start out by saying, we don't know the motives yet, instead of just like saying, I utterly condemn the attack on Charlie Kirk. I'm praying, me and my wife are praying for his family. And like concluding it there, but yeah, we may not feel a motive. Like I feel like you shouldn't have started out with that, Mr. President Emeritus. Political crimes and assassinations have been carried out lately. This is the Prime Minister of like the Russian Duma, Dmitry Medvedev. Support a variety of left-wing liberal scum who support Banderite Kiev. FICO, Kirk, who next? Maybe it's time for MAGA to team and realize that that by supporting Ukraine, they're supporting murderers. Go fuck yourself. In no uncertain terms. Oh yeah, Trump had a heated call with Netanyahu over that strike in Qatar. That's supposed to be like a don't want to say we're allies with Qatar, but we're supposed to be on good terms with them. They're a neutral party in this. And the point of Qatar is like, everyone gets asked, oh, like they host Hamas people. So there is a neutral third ground to talk with these people with. That is their purpose. That's why we keep these channels fucking open. New footage of someone at, oh yeah, so something at the, footage of the possible shooter. Too little detail to tell. Flags lowered at half-mast. There's a part of me that wants to say, oh, it's not like anyone important. Well, then again, we did have it at half-mast for the shooting at Minneapolis at that Catholic church by the, whatever schizo shooter that was with the Order of Nine Angels. I don't want to... It was also trans, whatever. Man, is half-mast going to be like with Rome when they're Doors of Janus? Like, yeah, no, I'm going to call it. We're going to go more days throughout the week, more days in the year where we're at half-mast than at full-mast. I don't know, by the end of the decade, we'll be at like, you know, 50% of the year or greater. We will be at half-mast. Pray that I am fucking wrong. And Yahoo speaking out that, right, Lil, Joe Biden, here, pause for a moment of silence.
Please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie.
Oh, back to business. I just realized I've had my, you know, usual like ambient World War I sounds. Man, I'm going like an hour and 9 minutes. Yeah, they were close, so... This is personal to Trump. They can walk off like, oh, they came at me. Well, that's me. They came after my friend. Dude, I probably owe my current sitting in presidency to. Like, I would not be surprised if he came out some way to be fucking vengeful about this shit. An eyewitness to the shooting of Charlie Kirk reported that the alleged shooter shouted, "I'd do it again." If it was that guy up on the fucking ledge, he would have to scream pretty loud for somebody to have heard that. Yeah, rushing him off. God, was his wife fucking there? Qatar PM to CNN. Qatar is reassessing everything regarding its mediation in the Gaza war. Yeah, they should. I wouldn't be surprised. I hope they don't. Oh yeah, right. There was the guy who looked like fucking Larry David of all people was taken into fucking custody, and it wasn't him. I think I was like picking up on that because like he was like repeating back his Miranda rights or something. So I think like whoever this guy was like realized like, oh fuck, like I surrender, whatever. I like, yes, I have a right to an attorney. Yeah. Just like, you know, better to like argue your way out with a lawyer in the interrogation room than resisting like, what? I didn't do anything wrong. Just like, whoa. Okay, whatever. Just arrest me. I'm not resisting. You know, notice the scenario you're in. It's just like, wow, okay. I didn't do anything. I'm sure this will fit. This will iron out later. You know, depending on how, like, I guess he's free now, so. Apparently that guy may have been somebody to the left, like a BoomerCon lefty. with what I was seeing. So there was a lot of boomer hate going online right now. At that point, I had to counter signal somebody. So, but yeah, it's coming up on 2120. Shake Shack is a decent drive away. I should probably go. No video game for today. I just needed to mauled out loud about this. Alright. Let's hope this fucking week gets better somehow. If you're a praying person, I know I'm not. Pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. And pray my cynical outlook proves false. Alright. Good night and stay safe, everyone. For anyone who hears this.